Hello everyone, I'm Kathi Powers, Superintendent of the Twinsburg City School District. Welcome to Twinsburg Schools Today. Well, we're deep into the second semester of the school year and there are so many exciting things happening for our Tigers, for our staff, and for our parents. And we have two of our members of our community that we want to introduce to you today. The first has to do with our Twinsburg Schools Foundation, and the second is our new Transportation Supervisor over at the Twinsburg Transportation Department. But without further ado, I want to introduce you to Mr. Mark Anakin, who is our chairman of the Twinsburg Schools Foundation.
Thanks for having me, Kathi.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Well, you know, a number of years ago, the Board of Education asked that a schools foundation be launched in the school district for the purpose of supporting innovative programs and just being a great friend to the school district. And so once all the paperwork was done behind the scenes, we launched the idea of the foundation. And you were one of the first parents in our community to step up and say, yeah, I want to help with this exciting new effort. Can you explain why you had that interest in being a part of the Twinsburg Schools Foundation?
Sure. I've been here about 20 years now. I'm a transplant into Twinsburg, and I've come to be very proud of this community and extremely grateful to be a part of it. My family and I, my three children live here. They go to school here, and we've received a lot in the way of great teachers, great coaches, great and supportive friends along the way. And for me, it was a very clear and obvious opportunity to give back. You know, it's a community that's given so much to us. So this was a great chance to finally maybe pay some of that back.
You know, in starting the foundation, it's from the ground up. And we knew that when we were thinking about reaching out to parents and members of the community to be that initial group of trustees, that we were looking for those who were really committed, not just to the school district, but to the community at large. And since many of our viewers may not know a little bit about you personally, can you just give some tips or information about who you are? I know you're a really involved dad, but beyond that, you do a lot of things in our school community.
I wear a lot of different hats, you're right. The three children, as I mentioned, they are all in the system, and they all play different sports and do all kinds of extracurriculars. A lot of times I'll find myself on the sidelines serving as their coach. I'm also on our CERT team, and I play an active role on the leadership unit of that team.
And what does that mean,
That's a community emergency response team. We work with the police department, the fire department, the city administration to help protect and serve the people of the community and the community at large. And we play a very big role anytime there's any sort of an emergency that's bigger than normal for any of those agencies.
So for Twins Days, you're helping
and
with
we
that.
also help with some of the basics, exactly,
Yeah.
some of the basics in terms of just keeping people where they belong and keeping them away from where they don't belong and keeping them out of harm's way anytime there are large crowds around, yes.
So you're very committed to not just the school district, but making sure that our community is a safe place and a great place to
No
live.
doubt. The stakes are really high for me in that regard. I've got a business here locally that I own, and with the children involved and you know, out and about in the community, the stakes really couldn't be higher for me personally. And so it's important to me that we create and maintain the best community we can, both in the schools and in the community as a whole.
That's wonderful. So as we were given authority from the Board of Education to move the foundation forward in an idea and concept, I recognized that I needed to find members of the community that were passionate about education and passionate about supporting the school district. So fast forward, you, Mr. Anakin, I had met you at many school events. I know Taste of Twinsburg, you were there back several years ago. And so we started to put together our Board of Trustees. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about some of the people on the Board of Trustees and their commitment to our school district?
We could spend a lot of time talking about these folks. They've got huge hearts. They're givers. And they have motivated me to a level that, that I haven't felt in a long time, in the sense that I look around at our board meetings and I wonder sometimes how I got to be a part of it. These are very high-powered people, very talented people. You sometimes wouldn't know it in encountering them at a football game or at the gym or in the community otherwise. But once you start to learn their background and you start to hear what they have to say, you realize these people really have a lot to give. And they have put in so many hours and so much energy and effort into getting this right that it's been inspiring for me really to push this board to the maximum that I could push it for the benefit of these students now and for the future. And so what I also find interesting is there's only a few of us who currently have children attending the schools. Others on the board have children who've been through the schools, but only a small handful of us actually actively have children in it. And that just goes to show you the real heart of these people and what they're willing to give to their community with not nearly as much to gain as someone like myself who has 3 children in it currently.
So we have gathered together this group of influential individuals who really are committed to the Twinsburg City School District and to the larger community in general, and have started to begin the work of the foundation in concept and now in reality. Can you share with our viewers a little bit about the mission of the foundation and really what is the intention of this group of wonderful folks moving forward?
We spent so much time creating our mission. And it's important, really important for the viewers to know it's not just words on paper. So the mission is summarized here, to enhance the overall experience of the education in the school system. So enhance the overall environment and experience really. And what we mean by that is we know that we've inherited a great school system and a great community of people. But it's our role not to continue with business as usual. We don't want more of the same, but we want to take the great work that's been done by people like yourself before us and all of the teachers and administrators in place and all of the great students that have come before, and we want to take it to the next level. What we hope to do is create a Twinsburg that has a school system, I should say, that is peerless, not just among public schools, but among private schools as well. We want an innovative school system, a really next level school system. And by putting the proper funding in place through this foundation, we firmly believe we could do that.
So if I was a classroom teacher and I had an idea, maybe for some kind of technology, maybe virtual reality, and the district resources wouldn't be able to support it, that might be something for which a teacher might write an application to the foundation for support.
You got it. That's kind of the beauty of the way we've set this up, is that we have empowered the teachers, the students, the administrators themselves to go after this money and to participate in these innovative ideas and projects that we as a board are not creating, but they are. The ones who will benefit the most from it are the ones creating them, thinking of them, and coming to us and saying, this is what we want to do, here are the funds that we need to do it, and can you support us? And so it's not the school board in Columbus making these decisions or giving these ideas or giving any green light. It's us providing resources and the students and teachers and administrators themselves saying, we want to dream big, here's what we need in order to do so, and they're now going to be able to do that.
So at this point, the foundation is working hard to fundraise to be able to support these grant opportunities. And so there's a big fundraiser, initial fundraiser, but big nonetheless, happening on March 7th. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
It's huge. We expect a big turnout for this. We haven't really publicized it yet, but we are, by the time this airs, I'm sure
Yes.
people will have heard about it. It is on March 7th. We're calling it Behind the Scenes Night with the Cavaliers. And we've partnered with the Academy at Twinsburg High School and the Cleveland Cavaliers organization in order to offer a unique experience that hasn't been done before. We're going to be granted special access behind the scenes at the brand new renovated Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and we are going to be given special tours offered by people in positions within that organization who make it run. So we're going to get to see all different levels of that organization, and it's a big organization, right? And we're going to get to see and hear from those folks and learn about, especially for the students, but for all of us really, learn about what it takes to make such an operation run. And it's going to be a really cool experience like no other. In addition to that, everybody who shows up, will, especially if they buy a ticket before a certain deadline, and I'm not sure what that date is at the moment, but and that's why I would urge people to buy their tickets sooner rather than later. But anyone who does so is going to receive a free specially made t-shirt commemorating this great night. And on top of all that, they'll receive a game ticket and have a seat reserved for them at the game. So they're getting a lot of bang for their buck, and of course supporting this great mission and organization in doing so.
Right. What a great way to get together, get to know a little bit about the foundation, to support the mission of the foundation, and actually to be in that new arena and get to see behind the scenes. Those kinds of opportunities don't come very often.
No, and on top of it, we'll have special access to their new clubs, or at least one of them throughout the tours. And it's going to be truly special, and something that even the Cavaliers organization has not done before in the capacity we have asked them to do it and we've created for this night. So we're super excited.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So if I am a viewer watching our show today, maybe I don't have students in the district, so I'm not going to get a flyer home from my child, where can I go to find out more information, not only about this exciting fundraiser, but about the foundation in general?
Okay, you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search for the Twinsburg Schools Foundation. That's the name of the group again, the Twinsburg Schools Foundation. But in addition to that, we really encourage people to go to our website so they could learn more about us. The website is www.twinsburgschoolsfoundation.org. And finally, if they want, they can email us. They could reach us through the website, or if they wish to just jump on their computer or phone right now and email us for more information, we'd love to hear from them. And that email address is twinsburgschoolsfoundation@gmail.com.
And also, folks can find information off the district website, scrolling down to support organizations and then clicking on the Twinsburg Schools Foundation.
You got it.
So if I can't make the huge event on March 7th, but I want to donate because the foundation is a 501c3 organization, how might I be able to go about doing that?
You could go to our website. That would be the easiest way to do it. And on the website, we have links for not just donor opportunities, but ways that you might be interested in helping otherwise. So if you can lend a hand, but you don't, and now is not a great time financially for you to give, that's fine. We want to hear from you, and we want you to be a part of this organization. We feel like the more people we can have helping carry the torch for the future generation of students and the current generation of students, the greater this endeavor could be for all of the community, from now until the end of time and for many generations to come, for sure.
Right. Well, I am so appreciative of your commitment, Mark, to this huge initiative, this Twinsburg Schools Foundation. It's been fun to watch it launch from the ground floor up. We're finally now to the point of fundraising for soon to be receiving the applications for scholarships for folks associated with the school district, and I can hardly wait to see what's next in the world of the foundation. Thank you for being here today.
We're looking forward to it all ourselves, and I am honored to be here and to be a part of it. Thank you, Kathi.
Thanks so very much.
You got it.
I hope you found this information about the Twinsburg Schools Foundation exciting and interesting, and I hope that you can participate at whatever level you're able to do so, because it's all about the students in our school district and folks like Mr. Amican and our Board of Trustees who really want to do some innovative projects, really are making some outstanding things happen for the students of the Twinsburg City School District. Welcome back to Twinsburg Schools Today. I sure hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about our Twinsburg Schools Foundation, such an exciting organization, and I encourage you to be a part of that effort as well. And now it's time to introduce to you our newest member of our staff, our new Transportation Supervisor, Mr. Mark Desmond. Welcome to the Twinsburg Schools.
Well, thank you for having me, Kathi. It's a joy to be here.
Well, it's been such a great opportunity to interview you and to figure out that you were the best fit for the transportation department. When we hire an administrator, we take a long time because we want to get the fit right. But I guess my question back
That's
to
it.
you is, what made Twinsburg the fit for you also?
Well, when I was talking and reading to everybody that was at Twinsburg, I like the camaraderie, I like the support, and the care and safety that Twinsburg does for the students. So it's always about the student safety, and of course the way that I think is getting them to school and home safe.
Well, you know, we often say that our bus drivers are the first staff members who greet kids in the morning. They're the last staff members that say goodnight to students on the back end of the
Correct,
school
yeah.
day. So they play a huge role in our support of students here in the school district.
Exactly, and I feel that the bus is an extension of the classroom in the sorts, the way, the behavior it was and the things that they can learn on a bus as well,
Yeah.
with interacting with other students and the driver.
Well, the role of the transportation supervisor really can't be understated, right? At least I can't
Right.
understate it, because I know that on any given day we have so many buses out, we have so many routes, there is construction to deal with sometimes on the road, there's weather to deal with on the road, and to become a transportation supervisor, you just don't get up one day and say, hey, I'm going to do this job. You have to have some significant experiences in the background. So can you share with our viewers a little bit about who you are,
Okay.
what makes you tick, and
All right.
what prepared you for this new role?
Well, I started off my younger days after high school. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. My job in the Air Force was a law enforcement specialist. So I did that for 6 years, among other things.
So a police officer?
Police
and-
officer, MP, if you will.
Okay.
After my enlistment was up, I became a civilian police officer, I guess you would say, in a suburb of Little Rock. That's where I was stationed. I met my wife. That's where we had 2 daughters.
She's a Razorback fan?
She's a Razorback fan, yeah. Yeah, as you can see the sticker on the car.
Right.
After that, I did that for about 6 years, and we decided to move back to Ohio. And I had some various jobs, but I got a job as the security supervisor for the Shaker School District, which I did for a number of years. They needed an assistant transportation supervisor, so I applied for that.
So it's
and,
just a time
I
in your
got
life
it.
to do something
It's
different?
just, yeah, it was, I was the security supervisor for the evening.
Okay.
So after everybody went home, I took over the district kind of thing
Uh-huh.
with events and everything that they had. So, and I worked closely with police department as well. So it was a little bit more money, and it was a day job, So
Sure.
I said, yeah, I'll try out this. This is something that I'd like to learn to do. So, and as the assistant, I can learn. I did that for a few months when the supervisor decided he wasn't going to be there. So I was the interim,
Goodness.
right?
You just never know what tomorrow brings.
So I got thrown the keys into that. So I decided I'm going to learn as fast as I can. I started with the Ohio School Board Association, and I finally finished my 3-year course as a Master of Transportation accreditation certificate.
That's significant.
So it took 3 years to go through
Wow.
that course in Columbus. So while I was doing it, I was learning the ins and outs of it.
Is that a course that teaches you routing?
It goes everything from laws, routing, payment in lieu ofs, new legislation,
all the background?
the whole thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after that, I was offered a position with the Chardon School District as their director. And I did that for a number of years. Great place to work, but like I said, as I was reading about Twinsburg, I just like the support, camaraderie, and the safety that you guys put into the transportation department and the schools itself.
Yeah. So here you are.
Here I am.
Wow. I know this show airs in February.
Uh-huh.
We're actually filming this at the end of January, and you've been here 1 week.
1 week. This is my 6th day.
Oh my
actually.
goodness gracious.
Yes.
Any surprises? Like aha moments that you've had so far?
Well, I love The Office. I really didn't have one before. It was just a big classroom, so The Office is nice. I like the way that things operate. Everything's on Google. Everything's documented. There's so that's part that I have to learn. It's a daunting task, and I think the biggest thing is learning everybody's names over again.
Yes. Well, you have a big
Got
department.
40-some drivers, and
Wow.
as I'm going, and they all know me already.
Sure. That's the easy part. Right,
So
right.
trying to learn everybody's names and the processes and the policies and just get my feet wet. So I look forward to the day but it's a job that I love, and I look forward to it's just become second nature.
Well, it's all about relationships, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, as far as, where do you find something on the computer, that'll come with time, but
Right,
it's
right.
building the relationships, and that was one of the things that came through in our interviews with you through the whole process was what a genuine person you are in really trying to work well with others, and collaboration's a big thing in your world.
Absolutely. I feel that my goal in this world is I would love to have all of our drivers pull in the parking lot with a smile on their face and happy to be at work.
Amen, right?
Right?
For sure.
Yeah.
So, we're in the midst of the winter season. You came to us just in the right time. Although we're not the snow belt like Chardon,
No,
so
no.
it's a little bit less intense in that respect, maybe. But, when you're talking about as many buses and by the way, how many buses do we have?
We have 40 buses.
40. That's a big
and
fleet.
4 vans.
Yeah, and they go all over the place, right?
Yes.
Not only do we transport our own Twinsburg City School District students, we go,
We have 10 parochial schools that we use 17 buses for just that.
yeah,
So.
So out of a fleet of 40,
field
17,
trips, and
yeah.
we go everywhere, yeah.
right. They put a lot of miles on every year.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yes.
But, in the middle of the cold winter, and you were just mentioning when we sat down here this afternoon that you were at the department at 4:30 this morning, because so many things happen behind the scenes preparing for a school day. Can you just share with our viewers a little bit about what our transportation staff does to make sure those big yellow taxi cabs are ready to roll every morning?
Right, right. Well, in transportation, we don't have the option of not having a bus to pick up our kids.
Right.
So we have to get up early, make sure everything's running. I have conversations with our Director of Operations, Chad, all the time when weather's like this, who converses with you. So what we do is I have the mechanics come in early, start the buses up, make sure everything's running, knock the snow off, get the crew out to clear the lots, and make sure everything is up and running first thing in the morning so we can get our kids to school safely.
It's quite a process.
Yes.
The operations are up and moving early in the morning.
Yeah, we got to make sure, people come to work. There's absences due to illnesses, so we got to cover those,
Sure.
So it is a big task.
It looks so simple, a child standing at a apron of a drive or a corner waiting for the bus, but behind the scenes, even just to figure out which bus is going to which street, that's a whole undertaking that usually happens in the summertime.
Correct.
With the routing software.
Right. And software is a great tool to use.
Uh-huh.
It will never take the place of a human being knowing the streets.
That's true.
It doesn't know when there's a ditch there or it's just not a safe place, and that's why constant monitoring of that kind of thing. And like I said, we got a great support team that just knows all of that stuff. So.
You can't discount the folks that work over in
Right.
transportation.
Yeah.
So this year, before you came here, but it's exciting for you to be a part of it, the district invested in bus arm cameras. And I know that in the media of late there has been far too many stories about drivers of cars or other vehicles who are not being respectful of the bus arms when they're down, which means students may be crossing the streets. So the district invested in several bus arm cameras that are moved amongst the fleet. Can you just explain to our residents and our viewers a little bit about why we've done that and what kinds of information we can gather from those cameras?
Well, yeah. Again, to reiterate, please stop for those stop signs, because when the stop sign comes out, that means a child is present loading or unloading on that bus. So we need to be mindful of that, and it is state law, and you could be cited for that. So the cameras, what they do is they're constantly running while the bus is running, and they will take a picture of the driver's face for identification and the license plate number, so we can work with our local law enforcement to see if we can file a traffic citation on those bases through a court case. So it is an issue nationwide.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A lot of states are upping their ante on the violations. I know it's mandatory court and things like that, but some of them are even upping it to major points off your license. Of course, we don't want a child. You can never replace a child, so.
Right.
That's the most important thing. Just make sure that we stop for those stop signs.
It's really a preventative measure. And I think by being out on our cable show, and I think the local media have picked up the information too, we want individuals to know that we're taking precautions to make sure our students are safe.
Absolutely.
Every day of the school year.
That's my number one priority, but given my background, I just want them kids to go home, the same way they came to school.
Right, right. So speaking of that, I know that at the beginning of the year we talk a lot about school bus safety tips and what kids should and shouldn't be doing, you know, when they're standing at the bus stop, when they're boarding the bus, when they're on the bus. Can you remind our parents especially of a few tips that they can chat with their child about maybe over dinner one night or while they're sitting watching a show on TV?
Sure. So every student, every bus stop is issued a place of safety. This place of safety is a spot where the students are away from the traffic and the bus as it's pulling up or driving away. I want all the children to know and parents that that is a place that they need to be 5 minutes before the bus arrives. Not in the garage running up to the base, running up to the bus rather, as they see it pulling down the road. So many accidents happen, Kathy, when a child's chasing a bus because they're thinking they're going to miss it and the driver sees it out. So we want to avoid those kind of things. So the place of safety is the biggest, safest place to be when getting off and on. So when you get off the bus, you go to your place of safety, the bus driver looks, everything's clear, the bus goes on, and then go home.
Right. It's so important, and I know that there has been conversation within the district about this new technology called GPS, so parents would know when a bus would be arriving at their bus stop or nearby. And that's one of the things that we're looking at as a school district to see whether or not that is an investment that the Board of Education may be considering.
Yep, and I've already been in contact with a few vendors of the technology with parent portals. Of course, we want to investigate all that, make sure it's safe to use.
Right.
As far as logging on and things like that.
Right, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, our bus drivers do a great job. Our mechanics do a great job. Dispatch does a great job. And of course, you and Miss Abbott, our assistant transportation supervisor, at the beginning of the day, end of the day, all through the day, making sure that everything is right. Because when it's all said and done, it's about transporting our students safely to and from school.
Absolutely. Even on weekends, we're monitoring the buses as they go into and from their athletic events. So
Right.
we're going to make sure they get home safe and,
Yes.
you know, all of that. So.
Quite a huge operation. I think the unsung heroes of the school district happen to reside in the transportation
It's a job that
department.
we love to do. So
Right.
Once you get involved in it, it seems to be a process that you don't know how you live without it. So.
Now, I know that we're always looking for qualified individuals to employ as bus drivers. Can you just explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a nationwide shortage of bus drivers, I highly recommend it. If for qualified people to come and apply, give me a call. It's Transportation Department. I can give you all the ins and outs of what it takes to have this rewarding job. And if you don't think it's rewarding, it really is. I've seen high school students that remember their elementary bus driver.
That's great.
Our bus drivers during the holidays get cards and, you know, thanking you, you know, for getting us to school. So it is a rewarding job. It is an important job and demanding job, but for the right qualified people, I'd like to see more people apply. So we are looking for everybody that's qualified.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for being my guest today on Twinsburg Schools Today. Welcome to the
thank
Tiger
you for having
family.
me. Well, thank you.
Looking forward to working for
Looking
you far
forward
into
for
the
many
future.
years here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for watching Twinsburg Schools Today. We certainly hope that you found our programming interesting, exciting, and we hope to see you soon at one of our many events here in the Twinsburg City School District. Have a great day, everyone.